Alright, so the Heisman Award. When you see the word Heisman, matter of fact, when you think of the word Heisman, what do you think of? You think of course, the best player in college football, the most deserving guy on the field. Someone whose impact will be something to remember down the line in college football history. Names like Joe Burrow, Bryce Young, Derrick Henry, Devontae Smith, Jameis Winston, Cam Newton, Charles Woodson, Ricky Williams, and even plenty more down the line that I didn't mention. All of these guys that I just named earned this award, showcasing why they were the best player during their Heisman campaigns. This Saturday, December 14, 2024, another name will join the list down in New York City, and actually, just in my opinion, probably one of the better Heisman years in latest history where it's actually not a quarterback, where you have two candidates who, regardless what a pointless award says, will be remembered forever in history just because of what they have done to the game. The two candidates I am talking about and that will be competing for the award will be Travis Hunter of Colorado and Ashton Jeanty of Boise State. But the thing that makes it so interesting is both guys, given if you separate them, put them in any other year, not this year, they win Heisman's individually. It's just an unfortunate thing both these guys are competing against each other. In this video, I'm going to run through both sides of the argument, trying to sound as unbiased as possible, given I'm not a fan of either team. I'm a Bama fan, if that really means anything. But I love both of their games and really could care less about who actually takes the award. But I will be explaining why one side thinks Jeanty should win and the other for Hunter. And at the end of the video, I will give my 2 cents on who I think wins, if anyone actually cares. Although my opinion has been like a coin flip this entire year, honestly, I think both guys deserve it. It's really a tough decision. I mean, both guys make very strong points, so without further ado, let me try to talk about them. So for the first side of the argument, we have Ashton Jeanty, Boise State star running back, who's not only making his name known in his division, but in record on history. He is on pace to pass Barry Sanders' all-time rushing record, only behind by 131 yards, if you count bowl games, of course. A record that has been set since 1988. Yeah, it's been that long, with the closest chance of it being broken by Melvin Gordon back in 2014, who came second in voting that year for the Heisman. Jeanty has also put his name up there besides guys like LaDainian Tomlinson as the only other running back that had 570+ rushing touchdowns. This is a fucking crazy stat itself. And of course, you can't forget he's the 26th running back with the 2,000 rushing yards season. He averages 8 yards a carry with 344 carries entirely. Now, why do people say Jeanty deserves the Heisman? Why do they say he deserves it over Travis Hunter? Well, it's simple. Dude's playing like a straight up video game. If you just try watching him, it's like playing Road to Glory. If he's your running back and you're playing on varsity settings, that is exactly what his play style is like. He almost defeated the #1 Oregon team single-handedly with 3 touchdowns and only 25 carries the entire game. A defense that held guys like Quinshon Judkins only 23 yards. This game is what people say was his true Heisman moment of the year, or even dragging his team to the playoffs. A team that, wouldn't be as dominant without Jeanty's impact, which I'll comment more on later. And people will use the argument, well, he doesn't play against good competition. Why should he win? He doesn't do this like Derrick Henry did or Christian McCaffrey. Well, to my side of the debate is, I guess, if we're holding Ashton Jeanty accountable for being in the G5 division and playing like the way he does, is saying he only gets yards because, he's playing against shit competition. Shouldn't that mean any guy from the G5 should be doing what he does? How come you don't see that often? How come you don't see guys from his division play as great as he does if he's playing against lower ranked competition, if it's so damn easy to run through defenses like he does? If he does, then shit, I want to see it for more G5s. But the fact that we don't, and he's the only one from that division doing up these type of numbers, is something to really just note. And even if so, every defense has tried loading the box as much as they can. Hell, the whole defensive game plan is just stop Jeanty, but they just can't. Jeanty is just a different player. We just have to accept that. Jeanty is just a different type of breed. And he will definitely go down as one of the greatest running backs in college football history to ever do it. Now, for Travis Hunter's side of the argument, I don't really think there's much to cover or mention because the game surely speaks for itself. He's just a one-of-a-kind player. If you watch him, you know damn well already what I'm talking about. He is a one-of-a-kind, which unlike Jeanty has not been done before, and not to the same degree. Last time we saw a player go 2 ways was Charles Woodson. Or even Champ Bailey if you want to argue that too. But I think there's been plenty of guys who tried 2-way, but I don't think no one's doing 2-way the same way Hunter is right now. Hunter outperforms all these guys, but different eras. I can't say much there anyways. He's played 688 snaps his entire season, which some people will argue is not a stat, obviously, and averages 6 receptions a game with 92 recorded, ranking second in the most receiving touchdowns for a wide receiver this year alongside 1,152 yards. To me, I feel stats really don't do justice for people who just look at the numbers and not the actual game, whereas if you see the game, you see the catches this guy makes. Some of the catches are just so unreal. So unreal that teams have to really double coverage him. They have to put fucking 3 guys on. They just have to do whatever they can. Just center half of the defense all on Hunter just to make sure he can't get open, because really no catch for him is impossible. Now for the defensive side of the ball, he has 32 tackles total, 21 solo tackles, 4 picks, 11 pass breakups, only allowing 6 first downs entirely, 1 touchdown, and 22 receptions to be caught. And he's only been targeted 119 times this year. So again, while teams have to come play Colorado with plans centered around Hunter on offense, not make sure he does not get the ball, they had to plan for him again later on, but this time for him on defense. And usually the quarterback always just tends to ignore any side of the field Hunter is covering because, he's just that damn good. Whether he's a wide receiver or a corner, he's just a guy you really just hate to face. There really is no fair comparison other than Woodson. Really, Hunter is just that rare. And people will beg to differ, saying playing 2 sides ain't tough or how it's against weak competition. Look, even if you hate Colorado, just because there are so many Colorado haters out there, which I don't know why. I don't know, it's just a thing. They hate Sanders, they hate Dion, they hate Hunter, they hate everyone who's at Colorado, I guess. Even if you're a Colorado hater, people like you just still cannot ignore how generational Travis Hunter really is. The ability to stay on the field at all times, not get tired, and still produce at a high level is something we will never see again once he's inside the NFL. Alright, so now that I kind of gave an explanation for both guys' campaigns, and again, I'm not a professional, so I tried my best to give both sides the reasoning. If you were disappointed with what I mentioned, I apologize on my behalf. Now, who do I think wins the Heisman? So really, I wish they would just cut this thing in half and just hand each guy a piece, because both are so damn deserving. It's a shame someone leaves without something. I'm gonna feel definitely really bad for the result, but if I had to pick a winner, it only comes down to really 2 things, and I'm probably gonna get called a casual, which I'm fine with because at the end of the day, it's my opinion, not yours, and nothing can change it. But those 2 things that I'm using to decide the winner will be, number 1, not saying who I choose, but if you swap both guys, put Hunter on Boise State, Jeanty with Colorado, what changes? Colorado probably wins the same amount of games, or at least makes the Big 12 championship with either the same amount of yards or a much smaller amount, because behind Colorado's O-line, I don't even think Jeanty would be as explosive as he showcases. I'm not saying Jeanty can't be great. He's top 5 for a reason. I think he's a very hard running back to stop. I think he's a running back full of a lot of power. But to act like he's on a team full of scrubs, or at least a team that would be winless without him, when normally they always have a good record. They've only gone under 7 wins once in like the past 8 years, and normally they're always an 8 to 11 win team regardless. To mention, Boise State also has the 43rd ranked O-line in the country, which does really not get enough praise. That O-line needs a lot more praise. They help him out quite a ton. Now, Hunter on Boise State doesn't make the playoffs. That's a given, which the playoffs to me are not an individual stat and shouldn't matter because that's a team stat at the end of the day. And while I do agree Jeanty is a large impact for Boise State, but they win definitely 8 or 9 because, Hunter would definitely be a large help on the defense playing corner because he just shut down guy that's barely thrown. It's hard to just measure what impact he would have because he's never thrown. And of course, Hunter would definitely help the offense a little bit more. I'm not going to say drastically because Sanders is to thank for most of Hunter's offensive success. But you get an elite wide receiver who on any team becomes a 1 easily, and you also get a star corner as well who has allowed barely any touchdowns when tossed his way. Now, let me present you my second way of going about this. If you were given the head coach position at a brand new team, and you're on the clock on a fantasy draft, you have to pick between 2 players to start your team off. Who do you go with? Travis Hunter or Ashton Jeanty? See, this right here is exactly what I'm going to use, and I know it's a dumb method, but you know what? If I had to pick between the 2, I'm going to go Travis Hunter. Look, Travis Hunter wins the Heisman. It is easy. It's simple. I love Jeanty, but Hunter's skill set is something that every team would just benefit from largely, defensively and offensively. The Heisman Award is awarded to the best player in the country, not the best running back. It's hard to say that, but it's the cold, hard, honest truth. But Hunter on any team, and he elevates on both sides of the field. Jeanty only does it on one, and it really hurts to say that because I really love Ashton's game, but I also love Hunter's game. That's why this is one of the more harder Heismans to really just hand out, and with a good O-line too at that. Hunter has to create his own lanes, get his own separation, still make the catch, and even when it's done, he has to get right back up just to be a corner. I think there is no argument. I think any year Jeanty takes it, but Hunter this year is just something that might never be done again. By that, I don't mean someone who just plays two sides casually. I'm sure we'll see plenty of those, but someone who plays both positions at a top level like Hunter is. Look, Jeanty is someone rare. That's very easy to say. He's definitely a player that does not come around often, but is it impossible for someone to do the same stats as him? No, I think that's really how I'm just going to go about it. Honestly, my method probably does sound pretty damn dumb now reading it out loud. I don't think that's really a smart way about going about the Heisman, but honestly, I've been so confused this year on it myself. This is really the best way I can do it and come to a final crucial decision that says I want Travis Hunter to win the Heisman. And that will do it again, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I am not a professional. Please do not take my opinion too seriously. Don't dislike it because I like Hunter, or because you're going to comment down below, oh, you don't know ball, you're not casual. whatever, man. Like, I don't care. Look, you can support Ashton Jeanty, you can support Travis Hunter. Don't listen to me. Like, do not change your opinion because some YouTuber fucking says Travis Hunter. If I told you to jump off a cliff, would you do it too? I mean, I don't know anymore at this point. Like, regardless though, both guys are pure winners. If I had to really come to a conclusion, both guys are winners and will change the game at the next level. I'm just happy I really get to witness these two, as this is just history in the making. It just sucks that Saturday night there's only going to be one winner and one guy goes home empty. I'll probably get hate for this video, which I'm fine with it. I was asked to make a video on it, so here's the video. So yeah, thank you all so much, and I will see you all in the next random recap.